the silence and the bleakness. Welcome to River Thames and filming locations from Resurrection of the Daleks. All these years of the renovations, you can still feel the eeriness, and it's the absolute perfect setting. Listen. So the opening scenes are here. The old man, or tramp as some refer to him, is just in here rolling his cigarettes. Unfortunately, he doesn't get to smoke either of them. Now, there's been so many changes. Bricked up windows have become open windows. They've also become doorways. All of the buildings have been sandblasted, so if you're looking for any little clues, you're not going to find too many on the walls themselves. But what we can do is, most importantly, decipher where the entrance to the Dalek time corridor is. So if we look above the old guy's head, we see a sloping awning. This is the same entrance where Peter Davison and company walk down after the TARDIS lands. So we'll use that as our main point. So then as we come down, we'll have 1, 2 and 3 openings, and it's the third one that Lytton and company come out. So present day, we have 1, 2 and 3, making this one here the entrance to the Dalek time corridor. The soldiers start to run off in 2 different directions. 2 of them come this way. Now we've switched angles, and as they come towards the screen, we start to see the opening of where Davison and company come out after the TARDIS lands. We then switch back down to the other end, and they're running down here. We look to the right hand side on both shots, we see an archway, and then after that comes the very thin inlet which holds the drain pipes. Galloway and Stean have hidden themselves away in this archway with the door ajar, and the view they can see is the left hand side of this archway. Note the blue bricks. And as the tramp's just moved up slightly, here's where he gets gunned down. After the massacre and Lytton and his men have moved on, they come out of hiding, and the arch they are hiding in is this arch here. If we look to the left of that arch in both photos, we see the large opening, which is now a window, and here is that window from this angle, and they carry on past these 2 smaller archways before finally turning in at the larger entrance, which again is now a window. Now walking through and out to the other side, we come to Butler's Wharf. This is the area where the TARDIS materialises, with the Doctor, Tegan and Turlough. Tower Bridge in the background, recognisable everywhere around the world. The Doctor runs his eye over the place and says 100 years ago this place would have been bustling with activity. Well, although it has been renovated and all done up, it doesn't seem that busy now. So after some general chit chat, Tegan feels that they need to get to the bottom of who's behind the time corridor. The Doctor tells her she has no imagination regarding the architecture, and off they head down here into the main walkway. And right up there is the setting for one of the most iconic moments in any Doctor Who series, the Dalek being pushed out of the warehouse by the Doctor. You can match these 2 walkways up perfectly. They are double ones, not single. And when you look on a much bigger picture, it's 2 openings down from the entrance to the Dalek time corridor. Colonel Archer comes into Lafone Street to make a telephone call. As we look down into the middle, we can see the renovated building. The right hand side of it has obviously got all these lovely new balconies, but As we look down the bottom to the right hand side of the building in this road, we can see the large triple window right at the end. And as we come down, we can see the section of doors and windows, and present day we have pretty much the same, but obviously we've got wider windows that come down to the ground. If we look just here as Archer walks away, we can see the curb starting to curve to the right hand side. In the 80s, this curved section would have headed off into another huge open section adjacent to Shad Thames, which again has now been completely renovated and many new apartments are there. And the phone box, which was a prop, would have stood here. Doctor and Stian head off down here to the TARDIS under the watchful eye of Lytton's men. So in regards to Tegan's escape, although this here is the entrance to the time corridor, she finds her way out elsewhere in the factory, and she comes down around here. We see the arch, we see the inlet again for the drain pipe. So right down the bottom, number 1 is the old man's arch. She comes past 8 more combinations of archways and windows, making this one here number 9, where the policemen exit from. She runs back out onto the other side of Butler's Wharf. We see this huge building in the background. That's a hotel. Has a quick look over the edge, sees the policeman and dashes off down the esplanade. Wholesale changes down here. None of the little section where the steps are and Tegan goes down to try and speak to the guy with a metal detector. That's all gone. And finally, right at the bottom of Shad Thames, Lytton and his men meet up and they head off down Curlew Street. Now, of course, this isn't the last we'll see of Lytton. He'll return and play a huge part in Attack of the Cybermen. Such a terrific character and a heck of a performance by Maurice Colborne. In issue number 73 of the InVision Doctor Who magazine on Resurrection of the Daleks, there's a terrific companion piece by William Gallagher. Lytton has been pulled in by the police and is being interviewed over possible connections to jewel thieves. Certainly recommend it, and I have included the link for that in the description below. Thank you for joining me.